Well, it's not an Empire Star Destroyer from Star Wars, but it is a 2011 Monaco Diplomat, and this is our new RV. This is, well, it's not brand new, it's a 2011, but this is new for Karen and I. But this is our 2011 Monaco Diplomat. I think it's called a PAQ43, and this thing is a beast. I mean, it is just awesome. It's got 4 slide outs. It's got 2 on the curb side, 2 on the road side. It's got a tag axle, which everyone tells me is the best for maneuverability. Huge diesel engine. It's a diesel pusher. Is up from the back side here. And again, she is just a beast. So what I said in an earlier video was that Karen and I were going to hold off on buying our RV until probably January of 2020 to help save on taxes. But then this beauty came up, and the price was right, and the owner wanted to sell it, and I don't know if he was going to hold on to it very much longer or not. So we had to strike while the iron was hot. So we ended up buying this it is now October the 30th, 2019. And we are getting to understand how this thing operates, especially since I've never owned an RV in my life. Karen, I think, had a pop-up trailer, I think, once before. But we are learning how this thing operates, and let's take a quick tour inside. So Karen and I have spent the last 10 days, 2 weeks moving into this. Karen's on the lion's share of the work here. But we're getting everything set up. We still have a ways to go. We're definitely getting things in order. Got a convection oven, microwave. It's got a stove, 2 sinks. It's got a residential refrigerator. Two bathrooms. I don't have the lights on in here. Sorry about that. So hopefully you guys can see this okay. But got first bathroom, which Karen says is going to be my bathroom. And then we've got a brand new mattress here. We want to give a shout out to Brooklyn Bedding. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit, but Brooklyn Bedding was an outstanding company for us, and we got a California king size bed. Then we've got our bathroom back here, which is going to be Karen's bathroom, and closet, big shower. I mean, I'm 5'10", and I've clearly got like 2 feet of space above me here. We are eventually going to put a washer dryer here. We don't know if we're going to do a washer dryer combo, or we're going to get one separate washer, one separate dryer, but Karen's talking about that. But we have a lot of things coming up. So this is going to be the last video for our very first season here on Blue Line RV Adventures. Karen's out doing some errands right now. She's doing a lot of things, getting ready for something very big we've got coming up in just a few days. I'll explain more about that in a minute. But Karen and I both want to thank everyone who has subscribed to us on the YouTube channel. Just really appreciate that very much. We've only been up about 5 weeks, I think, and we've already got, this is October the 30th, we've already got just about 100 subscribers. So we want to thank everyone for that. It's just been really awesome. And again, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. And if you haven't already and you like the videos, please hit subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. So we have a lot of things coming up for 2020. The first thing we should talk about is how soon we're going to hit the road. It's going to be just a little bit. I mean, we've got some more moving in to do. I think I'm actually going to take an RV driving school. I have driven this beast already. I shouldn't call it beast. I've already driven Mathilda a little bit, and I'm fairly comfortable with it, but I want to get more comfortable, so I think I'm going to go to an RV driving school. We're looking that up, and we'll bring you along when we do that. And another thing we're going to do is we are going to take a very long vacation. And what happened was, I was always planning on taking a retirement vacation right after I retired, and things got delayed. I don't want to bore everyone with the long story, but we had looked at everything from, we were going to take a river cruise in Europe, we were going to take an actual cruise ship cruise in the Mediterranean. My sister Joan was going to come with me. We were going to take a Vietnam cruise down the Mekong Delta, believe it or not, and that was really exciting, but just got a little too pricey, so we didn't do that. And then ultimately we decided that we're going to spend 7 days in a sandals resort in St. Lucia, and which is obviously in the Caribbean, and we got really excited about that. My sister Joan's coming with us. We're gonna spend a few days in Miami, then go to St. Lucia, and then we were gonna come back on November the 14th. That was gonna be my retirement vacation. A couple months delay, but nothing wrong with that. We did have a pre-Hawaii vacation just prior to that, so we were gonna do that, and everything was going great. And then my daughter Sarah, she reached out to me and she said, what are you doing on November the 16th? And that's 2 days after we came back from the St. Lucia trip. And I said, I'm not doing anything, assuming that she wanted to, I'm gonna step, a little windy out here, so we're gonna step inside. Assuming that she wanted to maybe go to dinner or something like that on November the 16th. And it turned out that Sarah, as a retirement gift to me, turns out that she bought a 10-day Princess cruise for Karen and I, beginning on, of all days, November the 16th, 2 days after we come back from St. Lucia. Sarah obviously didn't know that we were going to St. Lucia. So what do? We're going to be coming back on St. Lucia on the 14th, and 2 days after that we're taking on a cruise. We're going on a cruise right out of Florida. So Karen and I, initially we thought about actually canceling the St. Lucia trip. We thought that's too long, we can't do that. And then of course everyone said, hey, you're retired, why don't you guys just take them both? So after a little bit of discussion, Karen and I decided we're both going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do both vacations. So the first big thing we've got coming up in season 2 is we are going to the Caribbean for 21 days. We're going to do a few days in Miami, Florida, and then we're going to spend 7 days in St. Lucia. We're going to come back, spend a couple days in Fort Lauderdale, and then we're going to hop on a Princess cruise ship, and then we're going to spend 10 days in the Caribbean. We're going to go to Panama. We're going to go to Colombia, I think the Bahamas, Grand Cayman, Costa Rica, then back up to Florida. So really an amazing trip. It will absolutely be the longest vacation I've ever been on, and we should get some really, really excellent footage. So that's where we're at right now. We're also going to test out some new cameras. We thought about maybe working a DSLR camera. We'll probably talk about that, take some video of that. So far this year, we've about 90% of our video, if not 95% of our video, has been with a GoPro. That's what we're filming on with right now. I've gotten pretty adept at it. I kind of like it. The color quality is really good. We're going to kind of experiment with some more cameras. I know some YouTubers, they use DSLR cameras. You know, I may switch to that maybe someday, but right now, I mean, to me, they just look pretty big and pretty obtrusive. I'd rather have, at this point, rather have a smaller camera. So I'm going to stick with the GoPro. I may go with an action cam, eventually maybe a Sony camera, but I'm also going to, I've currently got an Olympus TG5 that we're going to take with us to the Caribbean, and we took some stills with that in Hawaii, and the stills turned out really good. It does shoot in 4K, so I think we're going to try to work with the Olympus TG5 as well. So new cameras, new RV, and a big vacation, and hopefully the other things I really want to try to continue to work on for season 2 is my video editing. If you guys remember that from one of the very first videos I made, in fact, I think it was my very first video after my introduction video, I was kind of complaining basically that I don't know anything about editing and I've got to do all this for this video, and I was kind of enjoying it, but I also felt like I didn't know what I was doing, if that kind of makes sense. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I liked doing it, but I didn't know what I was doing. But I think that I've gotten better at it. Hopefully you guys have seen some improvement from the very first video that I put up to what I'm making now. I started filming back in November of 2018, but I didn't put the very first videos up until after I retired. Almost a year from the time that I started filming to the time I started putting these up. So again, it's gonna do it for season 1 of Blue Line RV Adventures. And for those of you that have decided to stick with us and hit subscribe, Karen and I greatly appreciate that. Again, we have a lot coming up for season 2. We're going to start off with the Caribbean trip, and then once we get back in late November, just before Thanksgiving for that, we're going to jump knee deep into the rig, learning how to operate it, all the different ins and outs. And again, the mistakes that we make along the way, we're going to show you, and the positive things we do along the way, we're going to show you as well. But it should be a learning experience for all of us. And again, if you like the videos or sounds like something you might be interested in, please go ahead and hit subscribe on YouTube. It doesn't cost anything, and Karen and I would very much appreciate it. So the next video you're going to see should be us leaving for the Caribbean. 21 days. Oh my gosh.